They see where it is, find out about the course, figure out how to get there, maybe even go there and do an unofficial run and get a lie of the land. They look at this information about course records, and let's say, for argument's sake, the course record for the event they were going to this weekend was 18:35 for males. And they say to themselves, well, my PB for 5k is 18:30. So I reckon I can beat that course record. So that's what I'm going to try and do this weekend. And of course, they expect that when they do that, your name would go on the website and stay there until somebody broke their record. Again, I get that some people run parkrun for the records, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But here are my thoughts so far about what's been put forward. Parkrun, as I understand it, is an inclusive event. Anyone who wants to participate can participate. There are very few rules. You can bring your dog, keep your dog on a short lead. You can bring your kid in a stroller if you wish, and carry your kid on your back. Your kid's under 11, they can run. You're supposed to be within arm's reach of a responsible adult. And as far as I know, the other rule is if you don't have a barcode, you don't get a time. If you don't care about the time, don't bring your barcode. If you're not registered, still run the 5k. Don't get it, the result recorded. There are no medals, no prizes, no certificates, no podium finishes. There are no drug tests. There's no international athletics body or IOC, that is the Olympic Committee, or anything like that. The parkrun event or its governing body are answerable to. Apparently parkrun in the UK receives £5 million per year in funding from Sport UK or Sport GB or whatever it's called. And there are now people who are saying, there are people who are now saying that funding should be withdrawn because it's discriminating against female athletes. There are other people who say, parkrun, although it says it's not a race, is a race because there's a start line, there's the finish line, there's timing equipment, there are finish tokens, and there are tables of results. And therefore, they should provide this information in the interest of openness, transparency, all of those sort of buzzwords. And the fact that they don't just isn't right. Now, here are my thoughts. So if you've heard all the facts and you thought, I didn't know them before, knowing them hasn't and won't have any impact on my interest in parkrun, I'll still go every Saturday. And good on you. If you're not interested in my thoughts about it, that's fine. Move on, enjoy the scenery, turn the sound down, or whatever. If you have an opinion, you're welcome to it. You're even welcome to express it. And I'll try to acknowledge your feedback when I become aware of it. But I don't want to stoke the fires of controversy and see what might otherwise pass in a couple of days of the media cycle. But I do have some thoughts about this, and I have the opportunity via this channel to express them, so I'm going to. I admit, first of all, that I knew the information about fastest male, female and age range was available on the website. I admit to even looking at it sometimes at the parkrun that I locally go to, and I admit to looking at it when I decide to go to a new parkrun. I didn't look at the information with the idea that I could beat that or come close to it or anything like that. Just that I knew it was there, so I had a brief glimpse at it. I wasn't aware until I started researching for this video that there was this under 17s option, because the only thing I would ever do is go to the latest results and see how people I knew at a couple of parkruns I regularly do when I'm away from my home, to see how they performed, or if they went that week and how they went. And then if I saw their photo on that parkrun events Facebook page, I might make some comment to them about how they gone that particular week. I knew I would never beat the age graph, the fastest male or the fastest female, and I seriously doubted whether I'd ever even come close to the best age grade performance. But that isn't why I go to parkrun in the first place. So here are my thoughts. I'm not bothered by the fact that the information was available and now isn't. It made no difference to my personal performance. It made no difference. It will make no difference to me continuing to do parkrun, because I don't do it for those reasons. I run because I like to run. I've been doing parkrun for about 6 years. And I've only ever entered into one official running event, and I did that because my son and daughter-in-law, who were both park runners as well, had said they were going to run it and invited me to go with them. So I did. I was happy with my performance in that event. I didn't run for the t-shirt or the medal or any of the statistical information. I just ran because I hadn't ever done that course. As I said, my son invited me to do it, so I did. I run because I like to run. When I go down to parkrun on a Saturday morning, the two that I mostly go to, one here in Goulburn and the one in Tasmania, there's a nice community feel to them. When I was last in Tasmania, after having been away for 15 months, I was welcomed back like I was one of the local crowd. And there were familiar faces, people whose names I don't always know, people I was happy to stop and talk to, and happy to talk to me and exchange greetings, comment on each other's performance at the end of the run. I like the idea that it exists because there are people who want to give some of their time on a Saturday morning to make the thing possible. They don't want anything except a round of applause and acknowledgement at the start of the event. Other people who run, well, I can't talk for them, but we always give a round of applause as a welcome to first timers, to parkrun, and to visitors to our course, as I'm sure every other parkrun does. And then we all said about the run, excuse me, whichever way we do it. Now, by its nature, running is competitive. Now, I'm out here by myself. I'm competing with the clock. But on a Saturday at parkrun, because there's one, even if there was only one other person, it would be competition. There's inevitably going to be a person who crosses the line first, and we know from the way parkrun works that the tail walker will be the last person to cross the line. We know that there's a start line and a finish line that marks out an exact 5 kilometre course, and that's simply for organisational purposes, so that you can have a name parkrun for your event. You could say it's a parkrun. We think it's 5k, but we haven't really measured it. So you just go till you can't go any more, then you turn around and come back, and we'll call it 5k. But then you couldn't have the word parkrun as which is, I assume, a copyrighted term, because you haven't fulfilled the requirements for parkrun. So when I go to run at parkrun, I know there's a person in front of me. I've never been head of the pack. I never will be. Doesn't mean I don't want to be. It just means I know my ability. And if a 71-year-old bloke was the head of the pack, then maybe no one else turned up. But I know there's someone ahead of me, and I try and keep in touch with them, thinking that I might just catch them closer to the finish line or whatever. And I know there's someone behind me, and I'm doing my best to stay in front of them, just as the person in front of me is doing their best to stay ahead of me. The person behind may well be using me as a pacer, and that's okay. And the person in front who I may be close enough to then to hear my heavy breathing and footsteps, is using me to give them a push to keep going. And again, that's okay, because I'm doing the same with the person behind me. At the end of the event, you get your token, finish token, you go get it scanned, you recover, chew the fat for a little while with other people, and then you go about your day. For the duration of the event and sometime afterwards, right. Excuse me.